Hi everyone, this is Juliette and I want to welcome you back to my channel. Now, I've been receiving a lot of questions about what school do I go to, how did I get into this, should I take the RHIA exam, a lot of questions in my DM. So I decided to create a series called Ask Juliette. And during this series, you'll have the opportunity to hear my responses to these questions that I am receiving. So I wanted to go ahead and kick this off with 3 questions. And so I'm going to go ahead and read the first question that I have received so far. So the first question reads, how did you study for this exam? Did you answer one question, then went to the textbook to review if you missed it? Did you take notes on paper? And so to answer that question, I studied for this exam a little different from maybe other people. I actually was still in my master's program when I was preparing for my RHIA exam. So I took the exam, literally right after I finished my master's degree. So I had the information more fresh in my mind. So studying for the exam was a little bit easier for me. I did use the RHIA exam book. I did use this book a whole lot. And this was the book that I had when I took the exam because it was, back when we had the 8th edition. So I did use this book quite a bit and I did go through all of the questions in this book. And the questions that I did get wrong, I did end up going on and kind of reinforcing that information from my notes as well as from the HIM Bible. So that is how I study for the exam. I also made flashcards and went through those over and over again and just kind of made sure that I really understood the information itself so that I wouldn't freeze. I remember freaking out about the formulas because I know it was just so many and I wanted to know how to do each question. So I remember creating questions and trying to use the formulas to try and answer them. And when I got there and took my exam and left, I was surprised to learn that I only had maybe 1 or 2 formula questions on there. So I always tell people, don't freak out about the formula questions so much because your exam is going to be focused more on theory more than on formulas. So I will say that. And I hope that answers this person's question. And thank you for the question. So I'm going to go ahead and go to our next question. And the next question I got was, I'm debating taking the exam again. However, I am discouraged because this will be my 5th or 6th time. I think she meant 2. So I've been close to 292, but not 300. Any suggestions? So this is a big issue that happens with a lot of students where they are at the cusp of passing the exam. And it's like, what am I doing wrong that I am not able to get these 5, 8 points to, pass over? I even know someone that was 3 points away from getting their RHIA and had to retake again. So my suggestion would be to look at your results and figure out which domains you had the most trouble with. And when you look at those sections, I want you to try to remember, and I know it's kind of hard, but try to remember the concepts that you may have, maybe been unsure of. And then from there, look those things up inside the textbook and look up all the details. Read the textbook, read the chapters of those topics that you truly struggled with. Because when you're a few points away, that shows that you know the information, but you don't know it enough to really explain it. So in order to get to that level of understanding, you just really have to go back to the textbook and learn the fundamentals. So that is my advice if you are in that bucket of 292, 295, 297, and you're right there. That just means that you know the basics, but you're missing some foundational information to get you across the finish line. So keep on studying, don't give up, and try again. That's my advice. And my last question is here. And this is actually an interesting question because this person is actually studying for their RHIT versus their RHIA. And that's perfectly fine because the RHIT and the RHIA are similar exams. There's just some more managerial questions on the RHIA versus the RHIT. But here's the question. I'm trying to study for my RHIT, but I'm having difficulty concentrating. Any suggestions? So to answer that question, let me just first off say that I understand. I have been there before. You know, it's hard trying to study this information when your mind is all over the place and you want to do other things. You just strive to be anywhere but in that moment studying all that information. So my recommendation is to do 3 things. First, you want to turn off your phone. Your phone is your biggest distraction. And I found that to be a big distraction when I was studying. I would just find a way to grab it and go on YouTube or go on social media, and I would get lost in all of that social media has to offer, and then I would end up not being productive. So you want to first off turn off anything that's going to distract you. TVs, put your phone on silent, and that will help you to focus. Number 2, you want to be sure that you are in an environment that is free from distractions. Now, that can be difficult when you have a family, kids, family members, roommates, people around you that are going to be living their lives around you. So it's very important that you find a quiet spot. And I call it a study area or study room for yourself where you can zone in without any type of distractions. And my third tip here would be to also find the best time to study. So if you know that you tend to be a lot more relaxed and a lot more settled in the evenings, then study in the evening. Or maybe if you're a morning person and you tend to be more alert and maybe the house is a whole lot quieter in the morning, then study in the morning. But you want to be sure that you're studying at a time where you're able to effectively study for the information without any distractions. And being able to concentrate is something that is going to involve you being able to set the right mood and tone. So I would say turn off distractions, find your quiet place to do it, and find the perfect time to study. And once you apply all of these things, you will be able to study and be more productive with your time. So I hope all of those answers were helpful to those who sent them, as well as to anyone else that's watching that may have similar questions. And if you have any questions that you want me to answer about anything, it can be about me personally, it can be about the RHIA, just any questions career-wise, feel free to use that form in the description below that I've added for you and fill out that form. And once you fill it out, I'll definitely go through it and then make more videos answering your questions to help you hopefully, reach your goals. So thank you so much for watching this video. Please be sure to like and subscribe, and please share this channel to anyone that you think may benefit from this information. And I'll see you guys on the next video. Bye.